Okay. Hi, nerds. So, I did something stupid. I forgot that I did not do my Tempest Trials today, and I did not get my 2 stamina pots, so I'm kind of locked out of doing anything right now. I used all my stamina pots doing Tempest Trials before, and, well, things just kind of spiraled from there. So, I got to the final map in hard mode, and couldn't do it because I went through last recording doing all the maps previously. Again, that was probably not my finest moment. Oh well, anyways. So, we're going to talk about something that I feel is probably the weakest part of Fire Emblem right now, at least Fire Emblem Heroes. And that is something that is related to, well, this little thing down here in the lower left, and that of course is the friends list. Here's all of my friends list. As you can see, here are all my friends. Here's all they played. You know, several of you were on a minute ago, which is cool. Good for you. Wadded a Wraith, I guess. It's not quite Water Wraith, but you're getting there, buddy. You're getting there. And honestly, none of this matters. None of it. There's a reason why I don't accept friend requests right now, because none of it matters. Nothing in this list really matters. People just don't bother with it. And there's a reason why, because the only thing that, well, friends lists really do is this. There's Marth. He came from, yeah, that's a good name. Japanese symbols, or I don't actually know what symbols those are. But still, nonetheless, that's all they do. Your friends show up at the bottom, and every day when they show up, you can talk to them and get 5 free feathers, or if you're greeted by a certain amount of friends, I guess it's 5, but if you're not greeted by that, I think it's less, like 1 per friend until it maxes out at 5. I forget, honestly. But still, that combined with your, you know, your daily unit that you also get that just randomly shows up here with hearts, you get 10 in total, and I hate to say it, but I fart out more feathers every day now than I get from friends. Not to say that 5 feathers is not a good thing, you know, some people really are scrounging them up, but, you know, you get 100 from Training Tower, you get, I think, 300 from Tempest Trials right now, and still feeling bad about not doing that one. And then also, you know, you have daily quests that give you 100. That's literally 10 times more than what you get just by talking to your friends, and that's literally all your friends list does right now. Well, I guess outside of this. Voting Gauntlet, I believe, also does something that I feel we'll talk about that, at least I feel they should bring into the actual game outside of Voting Gauntlet. In Voting Gauntlet, when you sign up, you know, you go into your team, and then you do battles there, and honestly, the battles aren't very interesting, but there's one thing that is interesting about that, is that it uses one of your units. It uses a random unit just pulled out of nowhere from the Aether, you know, from someone randomly around the world, who knows, and then it also pulls a unit from your friends list, be it on your team, or I forget if it has to be on your team or not, but usually it's, you know, one of your friends, and from there, you just use those units, and you go through the battle, and it's a pretty interesting concept, and that is the only time I've ever seen the friends list actually used in a proactive manner, and actually, you know, done something good for the game. The friends list right now is just basically a worthless pile of nothing. In fact, it is a garbage heap on fire at this point, because while everything else has kind of evolved and taken shape, that is the only thing that hasn't. And that is something I'm going to be extra critical about, because, well, yeah, there's just nothing else there. And, you know, a lot of other gacha games, they do a few things. Some of them, when you greet a friend or do the daily interaction with your friend, you give them things like stamina, which I feel would probably be a lot better. I think, you know, it would probably be better than 5 feathers at this rate. Or, alternatively, at least from what I can think of, is that a lot of gacha games, they allow you to either do one of 2 things. They allow you to, you know, substitute one of your units for a supportive unit from one of your friends list. Like, you know, you can pull out Well, we'll talk about that in a second. Or you could bring along an ability from one of your friends, or something like that. Granted, the ability option probably won't work in this game, but bringing along a unit from one of your friends would be something that is vastly, vastly superior to what we have now. Because think about it. Let's say you're having trouble. You know, the easiest option I can think of right now is Vulture. The easiest option, you know... Vulture's not exactly easy. His map is not exactly easy. And, you know, you're a struggling free-to-play player, or you're just a player who doesn't get lucky with his draws, or, you know, anything of that sort. And let's say you had me on my friends list, you had me there as an option. A daily option would be to bring along a supporting unit. That's something that happens in a lot of, you know, mobile games. You are allowed to, at least for one thing during the day, bring along a friend. Or even, you know, one thing every few hours. I forget what it's like in Brave Exvius, but it's something like that. So basically, you're allowed to bring along a unit. And that could be a pretty nice thing, because someone could take along my bride Delia and then, you know, have maybe an easier chance at this. Unfortunately, that would probably kill a lot of the productivity and some of the money that comes into it. But I really don't think it would be that big of a deal. And you don't really have to use, you know, not everyone has a really powerful unit. Not everyone is going to have the option to do so. So I feel like maybe bringing in the interaction from your friends list would be something a lot more fun. Could it happen? Maybe. I don't know. But the other thing is, there's really no reason to add people, as you know, on your friends list outside of what you have already. I mean, I have, I believe, 50 friends. That's the cap, by the way, 50 friends. Good lord. And, you know, I have 50 friends. I get 5 feathers because people greet me every day, and that's about it. That's just the worst. Now, interactivity is something that I feel needs to be, you know, adjusted a bit more, because otherwise we just really have no reason to honestly be social about it outside of maybe, you know, oh, doing arena and then like, oh man, this guy's name is hilarious, or, you know, looking at your friends list and seeing who changed their name to what for the hijinks and the fun of it all. Occasionally, maybe, they'll bring along a special map, or bring along something that will allow you to bring your friend along. I wouldn't mind that. Or hell, allow you to interact with your friends a lot more than what you have right now, because, you know, I'm not saying, you know, full-blown something like PvP, where you just get on and you do things like that. I don't think that would work too well. But maybe something like, you know, challenging your friend's team to a fight, or something like that. Something that's just fun to do, that's more interaction than what we have right now. Because I have no real reason to add anyone to my friends list, simply because no one does anything. You know, it's simply you're living in your own little bubble, and that's it. That's all you got, is that one little bubble. And unfortunately, there's not much else you can do there. There's just that one problem. And, you know, here we are. I mean, we've had different iterations of things. The voting gauntlet, when it first came out, it was one-sided, completely biased. Still kind of doing that because it's a popularity contest. I don't mind that. At least now, with the bias intact, at least it's, you know, it feels like we can have more interesting interactions there. You know, not every team is going to be stomped to the dust. I mean, take what you will. It's a popularity contest. Tempest Trials, when it came out, absolutely disgusting. Was not the best at all. You know, but that was fixed with the second iteration. And then finally, with this third iteration that we have now, it's a lot better. I feel like it actually feels like a solid game that people could enjoy and will enjoy. Maybe I'm just being a bit, you know, what's the word? Maybe I'm just really optimistic, but I feel things are going to get better. And Arena, when it first came out, it really didn't serve a purpose other than to, you know, get feathers, and the ranking system was a bit weird. They revamped it entirely, and now it, you know, you play it, you have fun with it. Occasionally you get to tier 20, and then you realize just how much money people have spent in this game and cry in a corner, because that's just how it goes. You know, that's That's the basic gist of things, and eventually I have a feeling we'll get more interaction out of the friends list, but for those who keep asking me, I'm probably not going to add you because there's just no real reason to. Oh, so, you know, that's it, guys. That's my rant for the day. So, yes. Anyways, catch you guys later. See you soon.